Yeah, I can definitely start. So hello everyone. You're at the DSS DeCal Infosession. If that sounds unfamiliar, you're in the wrong place, but I hope you all know. I'm gonna start by introducing all of us directors of Acadev, who's basically the people running the DeCal. Okay, I can just start. So my name's Paul Jacobs. I'm a third year majoring in data science. And I'm one of the directors of Acadev. I've previously also been a mentor in the DeCal, or a mentor of the DeCal, and actually was a student of general membership, which was like what DeCal used to be called. So I was in your shoes not even that long ago, literally like a year ago.
Hi guys, my name is Steven. I'm a junior studying data science and econ. I was also a mentor before and as well as a student for the DeCal.
Hi guys, I'm Bella. I'm also a third year studying data science, and just like Paul and Steven, I was also a mentor before this and previously in the GM program, which is what the DeCal used to be.
This is just a link to the syllabus. If anyone wants to just scan the QR code or click on the link and just follow along, I'll just give you like a brief moment to check that out. All right, I'm gonna move on because honestly, it's not like critical that you have it on you. We'll give all the important information in the slides, so don't worry. So I guess the first big question is, what is our DeCal? What's the goal in it? So basically our DeCal is Data 198, Introduction to Real World Data Science. And what we do is we teach students foundational data science concepts and techniques that they then learn to apply to a group project on a topic that you guys totally are up to choosing. So, it's like, it gives you a chance to really explore how data science can apply to fields that you're personally passionate about. And the way that we'll help you throughout this process is you're going to learn through weekly lectures and very brief homework assignments. And also every group will have a mentor that basically will guide you throughout the semester and, make sure you're on track and, help you whenever you run into issues. And at the end of the semester, we all share our presentations with each other at the symposium. And basically the ultimate goal of this is to equip you with valuable data science skills and experience working with real world data on a project that genuinely is interesting to you, is in a domain that you personally are passionate about. Who's the DeCal for? I just want to emphasize this because we get this a lot. We expect no previous data science experience. It's okay if you don't even know what data science means. You do not need to come into this class with knowledge built in already. We're expecting that you're going to be completely new to data science, and we're going to help you get to a pretty good point in data science and get some great experience just working with some real world data. However, what we would say is if you've already taken Data 100, we don't recommend applying because you've likely gone over most of this material as in depth as our DeCal, if not more. So we just feel like you're not going to get as much out of the DeCal.
Okay, so many of you may wonder, why am I even here talking to these guys if I can just take Data 8 or Data 100? So what we feel like this DeCal really builds on is the fact Data 8 and Data 100 are very, they teach a lot about the principles of data science, but not enough freedom for you to really explore the data that you want to see. So what our DeCal really focuses on is to give you guys that freedom to kind of use data to explore your own interests instead of the class giving you a data set and then giving you instructions on how to work with this data set. What we really want to do is to, you to show your creativity when working with the data, with any sort of data that you really want to see. And, having a real world data can be messy in the beginning. So we also want to reinforce the fact that, in a real world setting, data science is quite tricky. So data mining in the beginning of how you really get a hold of this data and make it something useful is also something that's not really taught in Data 8 or Data 100 at all. So how is the DeCal and DSS related? So basically how it works is DSS has 3 committees, and one of them is academic development, and the DeCal is run by this committee. And the 3 people that you've been talking to were the directors for the academic development committee. So how it relates to DSS is that a lot of people who've done the DeCal, like the 3 of us, we move on to becoming academic mentors. It's a good way to good segue to go into the club through that part. And later on, and many of our members and leaders are previously DeCal students as well. And even for other committees as well, a lot of the people in it have been a previous DeCal student as well. So yeah, so here's the grade breakdown for this decal. So attendance is actually 30%, and you have to attend the first two in order to not be dropped. But we kind of enforce this because this class is usually really packed. So we have a really high demand for this attendance and just to attend for you to come, because we feel like we want to make data science equitable and accessible to everyone. So we want to give everyone an equal opportunity to be able to explore this class for their own interests. So attendance is quite necessary. And homework will be also 30%. It will be graded on completion, and you will have one homework per week. The full breakdown of when homework's due, what's included in the homework, it's going to be on the syllabus. But to kind of briefly go over it, it's very simple. It's more of kind of reinforcement of our material, and it usually wouldn't take more than an hour to do so. So it's really for there to make sure that you're on pace, on track on kind of with the topics. And at the end of the semester, you would do a final project, which is worth 40% of your grade. So with time commitment, overall, there's usually around 2 hours of class weekly and around 1 or 2 hours outside of class every week where you work on your project or work on your homework. So around 4 hours total per week, but nearing deadline for the project at the end of the semester, it might go up to maybe even upwards of 7 to 8, let's say. Yeah, so hours outside the class spent on projects and any homework's not done in class, and outside work is very flexible. It really it's a really big, I guess, freedom, because you don't if you can finish everything in class, then you don't really need to spend time outside of class at all. But if you don't, then this range is very flexible. It depends on how much work you really get done during class time.
Yeah, so kind of touching on what Stephen was saying earlier, our decal is different from regular courses that you see like Data 8 and Data 100, because you're able to pursue projects that lie within specific domain interests that you might be interested in. So we have a few of our previous projects here so that you guys can kind of put something to what I'm saying. So one of our previous projects was analyzing stock market performance. So we have a couple of graphs here that some of the students made. And then next slide, please. And then here's another project aimed at crime rates over time. So again, you can see that students can also focus on domain interest, looking more at social science sort of focuses. And then next slide. And then again, this is also kind of looking more on the humanities side of things by seeing the housing prices in California. And this is actually really similar to a Data 100 project. So if you are looking to get into that class and you kind of want a brief introduction, yeah, this is also a way that students were able to get ready for that. Yeah, so lastly, you might be wondering how you can enroll in the decal. So we have the QR code linked here, and I'll actually send it in the chat right now. Yeah, so you guys can apply through that Google form, and then the applications are due by September 9th by noon. So not midnight, but noon. And then acceptances will be sent out September 12th by the end of the day. So yeah, those were all kind of the logisticals of the decal, but does anybody have any questions at this point? You can either type it in the chat or unmute. Yeah, so there's a question. Are you working on the project throughout the semester, or is it only in the end? So yeah, you will be working on the project throughout the semester, but definitely toward the beginning of the semester, we are focused a lot on just making sure you guys have that foundational knowledge. So there's a lecture series for the first few weeks, and then for the last 3 or so weeks, you're mostly just working specifically on your project, but once again, the lectures are really essential to understand like the data science life cycle and how you should approach your project in general. And then I got a direct message that says, how many people usually get accepted and what are you looking for in an applicant? Yeah, so the DeCal is not meant to be exclusive at all. We usually accept everyone unless you've taken, once again, like Data 100, because we believe that this class won't touch like too much beyond that. But we're just looking for like a passion for data science in our applicants and people who are willing to commit to the Wednesday 6 to 8 time for this semester. And then Paul or Stephen, do you guys want to take the next few questions?
I answered one of them, which says, where do we get the data set from? It can be really from anywhere, so any data, but a good website we always use, I linked in the chat as well, is Kaggle. It's kind of a hub for just a lot of data sets. So it's for simplicity, if you want to go up there and to see explore data, that's a good way to do it. But if you have any, interest that is not there, you can definitely just Google and then download anything as a CSV file or a Excel file, and then you can work from there.
I can also answer one of the questions. I saw someone asked if we've taken data 8 already, should we apply to the DeCal or a committee? The answer to that is you can actually apply to either. I think like depending on maybe like how well you understood the material in that class or maybe like material outside of that class, you could honestly be on a committee. Like that would give you really enough experience to, be on a committee. But the DeCal would also be a great fit. So what I would recommend is really you can apply to both and maybe just ultimately decide which one's a better fit for you.
Okay, I see another question that says, to be a part of the actual club, do you need to have taken Data 8? I don't think we enforce it necessarily, but I would say like, I think all of our members have taken Data 8. I think it's a good gauge to see if you're interested in data science. And also it just gives you, again, that foundational knowledge because our other committees particularly like work with real world clients. So we want to make sure that we're delivering materials with quality.
So I see a question in the chat. As part of the DeCal, do we have access to retreat and things like that, or is that exclusive? So the retreat part, yes, it's more of for the committee members and less for it's not for the DeCal. It's just simply because of capacity, because if we include the people in the DeCal, it's going to be very costly. And nonetheless, we still have different events for the DeCal because, for example, like last semester, we had a social just for the DeCal, and we're going to continue to do that as well this semester. So there's plenty of opportunities for you to kind of have fun in the DeCal as well, and to hang out with not only your group member, but just everyone in the club in general, or in the class in general.
I'm not seeing any other questions. Is that, oh wait.
Yeah, and we also, like Marlon said, we have different data science events that's open to everyone. So if you're interested from, this class, like you've learned a lot about data science, or you just have an interest in data science in general, we have those open to everyone, and it's hosted by DSS. So feel free to come out to those as well. But yeah, I don't see any questions. We have breakout rooms for each of us if you have any question you want to talk to each of us about. So if you want to do that, feel free to stay along. But if not, I look forward to seeing you apply.